Have you ever walked up to your ball in the bunker and noticed it wasn't sitting very well? It's sitting down underneath the sand, maybe half covered or completely covered. What do? So you can't use your traditional bunker technique to get out of this. We have to change it a little bit. Now, it's going to sound a little silly because we're going to go back to what we did in our pitching technique. So in order to get this thing out, instead of using the bounce, now we have to actually use the leading edge in the bunker. Okay, so now the only thing you have to remember when the ball is sitting down and you have to use the leading edge to dig it out, there's not going to be much spin on there and it's not going to go very high in the air. So it's going to come out very low and it's going to have very little spin, so it's going to roll out quite a bit. So if anything, when you're hitting this shot, play to a safe area on the green, or if you can't do that and there's water behind the pin or behind the green, play out to the fairway so that you know you're safe. Okay, so in order to do this properly, what we're going to do is we're going to change our setup from a normal traditional bunker shot. So in order to use the leading edge, what we're going to do is we're going to place the ball to the middle to slightly back in our stance. We're still going to dig in our feet a little bit, but instead of having our shaft straight up and down like a normal bunker shot, what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands and we're going to keep the face square and we're going to have our hands slightly ahead of the ball like this. This is going to help us use the leading edge and dig down underneath the ball and get it out. Now this one you're going to have to use some effort and swing at it because you're going to have to dig this thing out of the ground. Okay, so it's not nothing. You can't swing very easy. You have to swing at this thing a little bit aggressively. So when you get set up, put the ball to the middle of the back of your stance, your hands slightly ahead, your weight forward. Now the only thing you're going to do is you're going to hinge the club up and you're going to aim for about a ½ inch behind the ball and you're going to try to dig down. Now what might happen when you dig down on this shot, the club may get stuck in the sand a little bit and that's okay. It might not go all the way to your full follow through and that's okay. But just don't try to stop. Allow the sand to stop the club. So in other words, when I get set up and do this, I'm going to hinge up and I'm going to dig down. You can see that the sand slowed down my club and that's okay, because we want to just dig down as deep as we can to get underneath the ball so it gets enough elevation to clear this lip and get out on the green. So again, we're going to get set up. We're actually going to get in our pitching or chipping setup here, and we have the ball more in the center of our stance. We're going to lean our weight forward. Our hands are going to be ahead of the golf ball, and all we're going to do is we're going to hinge it up and slam down. So we'll call this the hinge and slam. So hinge it up, and you can see I'm not lifting it. I'm using my wrist to hinge it up, slam down, and I'm keeping my weight forward. So again, I'm going to imagine there's a line right here. I'm not looking at the ball. I'm looking at the space behind the ball. I'm going to hinge it up and slam down. So here's the hinge and the slam. And you can see it came out, that one came out a lot lower than I anticipated, but it's on the back portion of the green, maybe a little bit over the green, and it's safe. Now again, sometimes it's really hard to predict how those are going to come out. So again, play to the safest area on the golf course. So quick recap. Weight forward, hands ahead, hinge the club up, slam down into the back of the ball.